Hey, everybody. Here we are. Welcome to the very first episode of Brotherly Love FC. I'm Chris O'Connell. We are so excited to kick off a brand new show that is all about the beautiful game right here in Philadelphia. It's a show we thought you wanted. It's a show we wanted to do. It's a show for every soccer fan, from the casual fan maybe tuning in every 4 years for the World Cup, to the soccer mom on the sidelines with the slices of oranges, to the diehard sons of Ben who have been following the Philadelphia Union since day one. There is a lot to be excited about. We are officially on the countdown to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the first match of the World Cup. Now 273 days away on June 11th, starting in Mexico. The U.S. men, they play their first game June 12th in California. The first match here in Philly at Lincoln Financial Field. That is going to be June 14th. That is going to be bananas. Of course, on Brotherly Love FC, we are counting down to it all. We'll be talking everything about soccer. Of course, we're going to be heavy on Philadelphia Union. You'll hear about college programs. You're going to hear about high school programs and all of the amazing youth soccer clubs in our area, all the way up to the U.S. men's and women's national teams. It's Philly soccer. We're covering it here. And I am not alone. Joining me every week, Tom Louden, partner in crime here at Fox 29. He's a true soccer dad, 2 daughters who have played youth soccer all over the area. We're going to hit the youth soccer beat here in a minute. Tom, we're going to have some fun with this, huh?
Absolutely. And I'm really pumped that we're starting this now. We're not waiting until a month or 2 months before the World Cup, because we can really dive into the Philly soccer scene as a whole. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk a ton about the World Cup, but there's so much more here that if you really look at it, between the union and, like you said, the colleges and the youth, we're producing really good youth players, some of which may be playing in that World Cup. And the great thing is each week we're going to have somebody with us.
And again, the reason why we're doing the show, to help spread the word about soccer, learn about it. I'm one of these kind of casual fans. Yep. But I'm really excited about the World Cup, and I'm glad to do this to get things excited about it. But there is a rich soccer history here in Philly.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. I mean, the Union weren't the first pro team that was here. There's been female pro teams. There's been a lot of great female players as well. So we're going to talk about it all, and we're going to build up to the World Cup, but also sprinkle in everything else Philly soccer.
Awesome. All right, we're going to have guests every week. Again, we're going to be talking about it all. Let's go to our very first inaugural guest here on Brotherly Love FC. You know him from that very first Philadelphia Union game, a club legend, one who's helped grow the game here in this entire area, Sebastien LeToux. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
I really appreciate you coming in for our inaugural show. Soccer, you've been seeing it firsthand of it grow here in the area. Let's just start with that, the growth of the game in the Philly area.
I mean, it's been big for me, being here for 2010. We're at 2025 now. The time flies, but there's so many, good things happening with the Philadelphia Union. The growth just of the club itself, with the academy, with the facilities, we have been much nicer than the first time I arrived. It looked like a real, big pro team now, with everything, able for the young kids as well for the first team. And like the itself, in Philadelphia, with all the youth, you talk about, club who has been, growing, and a lot of, talent from Philadelphia for sure.
When you first came here, obviously there was a lot of hype around that first game because it was new, and you killed it, scoring the hat trick, and the link was full. But that was a lot of people just saying, "Oh, this is new. Let me go down and party," kind of thing. What growth have you seen with the base of fans, where you got like soccer fans now, not just Union fans, or not just people who are like, "Hey, let me check out the new thing"?
I mean, I can tell you from my first game to now, I still meet people every weekend at the Philadelphia Union Stadium who have been here for the first time. So you can see that they have been diehard fans from the day one. And then I see a lot of now grown up who were kids and went to the first game with their parents, who now are fans as well of the team, or follow soccer, or who have played college, and they keep up with the game. And because they've been fan of the Union for the first time, like I was talking to you before the show, it's kind of like something you have, I feel, in America. You are always a fan of a team and you stayed forever. And it's kind of like the mentality I'm seeing right now from the younger generation, who now, of course, is like in their 20s. But when they came to the Union and see me play, because it was a long time ago, they were a kid and now they are fans. So it's kind of nice to see.
You still look like you could play.
I try to stay in shape, otherwise my wife will leave me. So I try. But no, I love to play. Just I'm not 20 anymore, so I need to do a lot of stretching.
Now, one of the reasons why we're doing the show, World Cup coming next year, 273 days away. Give people an idea, and we were talking a little bit before, what we're in for here in Philadelphia. What does the World Cup mean? We know big games. We've been to the Super Bowl. What is a World Cup? What will it mean for this city?
I mean, I feel like it's going to be something, and I was lucky. I lived one in France in '98. I was 14 years old, but it kind of really brings the country together because it's not like you are rooting for one city, like the Philadelphia against maybe Kansas City, the last Super Bowl. It's everybody wants your country to win, and you are against everybody else. It's not just one or two other country. It's the entire world, and everybody has a great team. USA could have a great team, and when you're on a home soil, you will talk about it for a month. It's every day. It's like what's going on, when's the game, where are you going to watch, the group stage, the time difference and everything. It's you really excite, not just the soccer fan who have been there for a long time, but like you say, all the people who want to be a part of it and try to know more about the sports. And it just, it's hopefully it's a lot of happy moments, celebration for everybody. And we just hope, everybody hope to have a great US team who is going to have a good result and, bring everybody together. It's what, you wish for.
Speaking of the growth of the game and the World Cup, what impact can that have? We remember back in, I think it was '94 when Brandi Chastain scored the goal for the U.S. women, and the U.S. women's program just took off after that. To see the U.S. men's national team here and hopefully have some good results, what could that do for the overall growth of the game?
I think it's just a hope for the growth of the game to have, let's say, more like TV right. People want to watch the game because it's so hard. You have so many sports in America, and everybody's a big football fan or a baseball fan, basketball and hockey were the four major, and then soccer let's drop right under. But it has been growing now since the league have been in the US. But having a successful national team make people want, I think, more watching the game or want to become now a fan of the Philadelphia Union or become a fan of, the LA Galaxy if you're from LA, because you're like, oh, my national team went well. I want to go see soccer. I don't want to wait 4 more months to see the next game of the US. And usually they play in one stadium and very far away from you. So you want to go to see games and you want to become a fan of a team. And it's what could happen if, I hope, the US national team have a success during this World Cup. It's kind of more people who want to watch soccer, wants to go to a game and want to become a fan of your city where you are from. And in Philadelphia, we are very good at that. If you are from somewhere and you are from Philadelphia, you want to support the team of Philadelphia.
We're going to get to the Union next segment, but I want to get your thoughts on the U.S. men's team. There's been a little frustration with the fan base. They're in the World Cup. They have an automatic bye. They lost to South Korea, a couple friendlies. They won against Japan. Where do you see this men's team going into the World Cup now?
I mean, it's interesting. It's they're still, I think, looking for themselves, a new coach. With Pochettino coming in this year. A lot of criticism from everybody, ex-player, media, fans, not happy about what's going on. But the World Cup is in a year, and I'll try to be the optimistic person here. I always talk about the French national team who didn't make the World Cup in '94 here in the US. We didn't qualify. And then we host the '98 World Cup. So again, automatically qualify. We don't have to play any game to get ready. And it was a bit struggle as well. We had a coach, nobody knew about it, and they went on a run. And nobody was really maybe betting on France, maybe for quarterfinal, but not to win it all. And we had, 2, 3, 4 players who, put themselves out there and were so good during that time. And at the end, it's when you're a player and you feel, and I hope it's going to be this case for all those let's say 23 players will make the roster of the team, you feel the entire country behind you and supporting you, not criticizing you. It's such a boost, you like the sky is the limit. You're on the field and you hear what's going on, from every media, and you guys know talking about soccer, people are expecting and want you to succeed. So it's such a great boost, of energy, and hopefully they will all feel it to try to be great for the nation.
How far do you think they'll go? I guess you can't ask that. We're still far. We don't have a roster yet.
We don't have a roster. We don't know who you play in a group stage. But no, I really hope I really hope minimum they go to quarterfinal. I really hope quarterfinal, and then when you hit quarterfinal, everything is possible. It's a one game, it's not like a full season. Anything can happen in one game. You all have so in crazy games, in your lifespan, not just in football, but in anything. I just watched Monday Night Football with Buffalo winning against Ravens, and we all believe Ravens were going to win.
Right.
So there's something could happen, with the electricity and the moment. Anything can happen. So I will hope quarterfinal. So we are all excited for a good 3 weeks, and then what happened. But yes, there's a lot of good team out there. But the US can maybe create a surprise.
All right, don't go away. We're going to talk Union when we come back on our inaugural edition of Brotherly Love FC. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, soccer fans, to the inaugural show of Brotherly Love FC, the show that's all about soccer here in Philly. New fans, seasoned fan, just curious. You've kicked a soccer ball once in your lifetime. We'd like to hear from you, and thanks for joining us. The next segment is all about our hometown club, the Philadelphia Union, who are once again right in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference. Not just in the thick of things, they were the first team to clinch an MLS playoff berth. Let's take a look at the standings now. They are about 5 points up against Cincinnati, who they just beat last week. They are in a solid position with, what do we have, maybe 8 games? 5 games left. 5 games left in the season. Thanks for the help there. Sebastien LeToux, Philadelphia Union, Ring of Honor member.
I am, yes.
It's a very small company, right?
It's just me right now.
It is just you right now. That's awesome.
Hopefully I'll be joined soon by you.
No, keep it yourself. You don't like that? You got a throne or something? Yeah.
No, nothing as I know of.
So tell us what you're doing now.
So I'm, of course, doing some broadcasting for the team. We have a show every Thursday night on PHL 17 to recap a little bit about what the team have been doing, and we do the radio call as well, since all the games are on Apple TV. But if you want to listen to us, being a little bit more towards the Union, you can tune into 97.5 The Fanatic, and I just started a little bit this year to work with the Union Academy as a IDP coach. From the youth, from the U14 to U18, and hopefully, I can grow from that and, keep going with the club.
So let's talk Union. They're right there in it. Should I say shocking expectations from the beginning of the season? I don't know if yours, but it seems like they're having quite the season.
They have a great season, and definitely nobody was expecting to see the Union where they are right now. It was a tough season last year, with a change of coaching staff. Jim Curtin, not being the coach of the team. We have now Bradley Carnell, who just arrived with a new coaching staff, and they've been doing an amazing job. From the beginning, lots of great win, first one in Orlando, and then everything kind of clicked. The team really play well together, and a different style, of play than we saw in the past couple of years, but very exciting, to see them play. And right now they are doing amazing, like you talk about. Last 2 weekends ago, they were in Cincinnati, and they beat Cincinnati to now be 5 points above. So we are already in the playoff, 5 games to go, and now it's all about, can we have a home advantage, and then maybe get the supporter shield, which is in MLS, the team between the Eastern and the Western Conference having the most points during the regular season, which, it's one of the trophy you can win during the league. So
they won that a couple years ago, the supporter shield,
yes,
right?
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago they won it. So it's something they can win again. It's not going to be during the COVID year, because they won it during the COVID years. This one will be like during the real regular season with more team as well. So even a great, play from the team. But yeah, they have been fun to watch. A lot of goals, a lot of change in the team as well. Lots of new young players. They've been really adding a lot of young players to the squad and playing them. We talk, of course, a lot about Kevin Sullivan. People talk about the Philadelphia native. So it's great to see all the work they've been doing, and the fact that they rebound very quickly from last year, not making the playoff, to this year being first in the East. And yeah, I cannot wait for the last 5 games of regular season. And hopefully, we are going to have a fun playoff and maybe an MLS Cup this year.
Let's take a look at go ahead, Tom. I'm going to take a look at. Let's put up the remaining schedule of the Union. Got Vancouver.
And that, yeah, and the Nashville game is a U.S. Open Cup game, I believe,
yes.
Right? So that's not part of the MLS. It's a side tournament that they're in, just to point that out. But yeah, that's one of the games remaining.
Yeah, on the last 5 games of the regular season, they have 2 home games against New England and New York City FC, and then they have 3 away games in Vancouver, DC, and the last game in Charlotte, who Charlotte, is one of the top team as well in the East. So Open Cup as well, yeah, something that people talk about. I went twice the final with the team. Unfortunately, we didn't win it, but this year's in a semi-final again in Nashville. It's going to be a tough game, but another trophy they can win. So they are in full competition, able to maybe win 3 trophies this year.
And that's one of the things to point out as we try, if people who are just getting into soccer, you see the NBA is doing the side tournament now. They took that from something that soccer's been doing for years, where they have these tournaments within a season to try to build interest, and there's different trophies that basically you can win.
Yeah, but the Open Cup is a bit different. Open Cup is open to any club team in adult league. So you start very low, in a very low level, and you start, where here I know there's a Philadelphia, the Westchester United FC, who is a part of it, to qualify for the first round. I think there's a Ukrainian club as well. So a lot of, let's say small club play first, the primary round, and then if you win, you go next and next, and then you go national, and the MLS team enters the tournament, I think, when it's like the round of 32 or something like this. But it's it's somebody anybody can play this competition. It's kind of like a fun for all the fan of soccer. Even if you're not professional, you can play the US Open Cup, and it's open to anybody. And if you win, of course, you go through the next round.
Let's talk about the success so far of the Union. Starts probably at the top. Head coach Jim Curtin, after 10 years. Was he coached?
Yeah, he coached like for 7 years.
So it starts at the top. New coach, new philosophy. What is it?
I mean, the philosophy changed a little bit. It's just the way I think we try with the Philadelphia Union to have an identity, as a club, from playing from the youth level to the academy to the first team, pretty much copying the first team, and so everybody knows the way to play. And it was a little bit, missing the past couple of years. And this year with, Bradley Carnell coming in, he really, inject a little bit more energy into that to kind of know how to play and what style of play it is, which it's a lot of, kind of pressing, as we say, having the team, really defending very close to each other, very compact, not, giving a lot of time to the people on the ball, and at the end, try to score quickly after winning the ball, or when you lose the ball, can you win it back quickly to then try to have a chance on target and score goals. So it's been fun to watch. Sometimes it's a bit risky, but a lot of young guys have been learning very quickly this year, and it has been very lots of entertaining game and fun game to watch. So it's been a great season, and from the work the coaching staff and Bregan have been doing, it's shown on paper they are first and now 5 points above. So hopefully they keep going, but it's a long season, so hopefully they will catch those last 5 games the right way, and we can get one title with the supportership at the end.
So real quick, you mentioned Quinn Sullivan, and obviously everyone knows his younger brother too, but as we tie this back to the World Cup, do you think Quinn has a shot to be on that national team and come next year?
I mean, he has been called up, not this last game for the US. He called up, I think, in July. He played a little bit, but I think when you go called up, you always have your name in the hat of which player could be. He has to come, of course, from a great performance from him. It's still a long way to go. There's still a couple of months. It's going to be an off season for the MLS, and then they start. So I will say from the beginning of the next year to the World Cup, anything is possible, and who is going to be catching the eyes of the coach of the national team will make it. He's still very young, so maybe he might not make this one, but you never know. If he has a great performance with the Union, or maybe a different club, if he leaves the Union at the end of the season, he could maybe make it.
Who's the team to look for in the East? And is it the Union? And what do they need to go on? They got 5 games left. They've already clinched. What do you do with 5 games left?
I mean, I would say first you have to win the home game. It's always the one you want to win. But then you play teams like Charlotte, who is fighting for a good place in the playoff. It's going to be, every game is going to be a fight, because everybody is looking to know where they can finish in the playoff. In the MLS, there's 9 teams who make the playoff on each conference. So then you have the home advantage. If you are in the top 5 teams, you have a home game as well. So it's huge, economically for each club to be able to host a playoff game. So it's going to be interesting to see all those games. It's one at a time. I think it's kind of the philosophy of the head coach to take one game and go to the next one, not think the big picture. And they've been doing a good job. So in the East, of course, Cincinnati, we just beat them. Nashville, it's another big club, but Nashville plays Cincinnati this weekend when the Union playing Vancouver. So it's a good thing for the Union. Not both of them are going to win. And of course, we are going to talk about Miami and Lionel Messi, who is, missing a lot of games because they play, the Leagues Cup, which is another competition, the league play, and they went to the final. They miss a lot of games, so they have a lot of games to catch up. If they won all those games, they can come closer in the standing. So let's keep an eye on Miami and what they're going to do for the end of the season. But I would say like those 4 teams, maybe the one to watch until the end.
It's going to be a fun fall.
It is between the Unions, the Phillies, and the Eagles. I think everybody in Philadelphia just buy a TV because there's a lot of things to watch.
All right, stick around. We're going to talk youth soccer here in the area, which has a rich history and a long following. But first, let's get back to those key dates we are following for the World Cup coming up next year. We are just 273 days away from the first match on June 11th in Mexico. The U.S. men play their first game on June 12th in California, and the first match here, Lincoln Financial Field, June 14th. We will see you back here in a little bit on the inaugural show of Brotherly Love FC. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. Sebastien LeToux has been joining us all show here. Each week, we are going to highlight some of the soccer history here in Philadelphia. Sebastien, don't go away. We got a rapid fire for you in a little bit. Put your thinking cap on. So we got history here in Philly.
We do have history. A lot of people think, oh, we're the Union, the first ever pro team here in Philly. That not by a long shot. And one of the teams that were before the Union was the Philadelphia Adams that were here from 1973 to 1976. The Adams played at the Vet for 2 years, and they finished up at Franklin Field in 76. They actually won the NASL championship in 1973, the first year in existence, and they're also credited with having a big impact on indoor soccer in the U.S. Back in 74, they hosted the Soviet Red Army indoor soccer team in a game at the Spectrum. There was about 12,000 fans there. The Adams ended up losing that game, but that game spawned interest in indoor soccer, and the following year was the first pro league indoor soccer in this area. And I actually, thanks to eBay, it's not like from the 70s.
Not Temu?
No, not Temu. Actually eBay found a Philadelphia Adams jersey, which it's actually a nice looking jersey.
I like that.
Now,
I like
Sebastien correctly pressed us on what was the background of the Adams.
Yeah, where did the Adams come from?
Which was a failure on my part.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a marketing campaign where fans actually got to submit name suggestions, and they went with the Adams.
That's and there again a lot history. There's all kinds of there was many Philadelphia professional soccer teams. We're going to dive into that as the weeks go on. Another aspect of their show, we're going to be looking at the youth soccer scene across our area. In fact, we'd love for you to send in your highlights during this fall season. Send it to us. We'll play it here on the show. You can follow us on Instagram at brotherly_love FC or at Twitter, or what do you call it, X now, Brotherly FC, and send us your highlights. We'll get them on. Sebastien, you're also involved in youth soccer. Tell us, first of all, how, and you see how important youth soccer and development is to the big leagues where you just play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from France, so I try to discover, how the US works in their way to develop, youth soccer. But now, with all the professional team, with the Philadelphia Union, there is more and more academy coming from all the teams. So they are doing a great job in Philly, especially, betting a lot and putting a lot of money into developing, great facility for all the, levels, starting at U14, U13 for the Union until, U18. And of course, they have a second team as well, right under the first team, to give a chance, to all those young players to first get a good degree from high school, and then if they are not able, to make it to the first team, they can join, a very good college to keep their career and try maybe to find a different team at a professional level. But of course, the goal is to get as many, young talent from the area to develop and hopefully try to make to the first team.
My final question on this. With youth soccer, we see it's very competitive. We have high school teams and club teams and things like that. At what age do you think you can excel, or you may go to the next level, other than the recreational?
I mean, it's hard to tell. It's all about, I feel like the passion of the player, how much you like to play the sport, how much fun you have. But for me, I kind of knew inside of me. I wanted to become a professional soccer player when I was maybe 9 years old when I saw the first game, but I was okay. I was not the best, but you progress. And then of course when you are young, you don't know when you're going to hit puberty. You stay small for a long time. I was very skinny for a long time as well, so the physicality of the game take a big jump. And I play in France when I was 15 years old in a third team of my club, not the first team, not the second team, but in third. So it's kind of like interesting to kind of see how people develop, but you can go very quickly from a team to another if of course you work hard, because it takes commitment, and then you want to go to the next level.
All right, we're ending the show. Tom, go. Rapid fire with Sebastien LeToux.
Rapid fire right now. Which country's going to win the World Cup?
France or USA.
If you could go to one city other than Philly of the host cities to watch a game, which one?
Seattle.
Which team would you most like to see besides France come to Philly?
USA.
There you go.
All right, there you go. Sebastien, thank you so much. Can you come back sometime?
Of course.
This was a great first show.
I love to be here. You have a great setup, and I'm definitely going to catch up on Fox 29, to see the show, or on YouTube if I cannot catch you live.
Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, Tom. Nice first show. There we are. It's a wrap on our inaugural Brotherly Love FC